152 Swiss companies headquartered in Maharashtra and employ about 76,000 people. And also the other way around, there's about 60 companies in Switzerland, mainly in ICT and life sciences, and distributed across Switzerland. So there is already quite some economic ties between those two locations. Switzerland, so I'm telling you a bit more about Switzerland. Maybe you know the Swiss are very modest people. They don't like to brag, but I make an exception now. I'm very non-Swiss. And I tell you a couple of the innovations that are Swiss. So maybe you didn't know that that's even originated from Switzerland. So the first one, if you have an iPhone or any other device that have speech recognition, the underlying technology, the long short-term memory, has been developed in Switzerland at the research institute in Lugano. So next time you ask Siri a question, think about Switzerland. There's a little bit of Switzerland inside of it. Then the second example of Swiss innovation, Disney Pixar, they have a research collaboration with ETH, that's the Polytechnicum here in Switzerland. And if you have kids and you've seen Frozen 100 times and it's snowing there, those special effects have also been developed here in Switzerland. Starbucks, yes, a little overpriced coffee, but the coffee is still good, okay, especially the coffee machines. They come from Thermoplan, a Swiss company. So all the Starbucks stores worldwide, they run on Swiss coffee machines. Next example, Google. As you might know, they started here in 2004, invested in Zurich with a couple of people. In the meantime, they have about nearly 5,000 engineers working on different projects here in Zurich. For example, the Google Maps has had its start here in Switzerland. And they also work on YouTube and other products that they have here from Switzerland. And last example, if there are any life sciences companies here. So the start of the DNA, Friedrich Miescher, he explored, he was a biologist and explored here in Basel, and he came across the building blocks of DNA. So those are just a couple of examples of Swiss innovations. I wonder how many you knew that, yeah, if you check your cell phone next time, that's some little bit of Switzerland in there. So why has Switzerland become such an innovative country? We've been ranked for the 14th time now with the WIPO study or ranking as the most innovative country in the world. And I think it comes down to those four things here. So we have a thriving ecosystem, we have the talent here, a regulatory framework that works, and there's innovation partnerships with the research institutes here. And I dive into each of those sections a bit more in detail. So Switzerland, just to give you an overview, we have 4 national languages: German, Italian, French, and Romansh. 9 million people, so it's a really small country, high GDP, and also a high Swiss franc. With being in the center of Europe, there's 5 million potential consumers that you can access from Switzerland. And why do international companies and also Indian companies choose Switzerland? So the ecosystem provides those things. So it's really a pragmatic collaboration you can have with the research institutes here in Switzerland. It's also a good test market for Europe. So companies come here, test their products and services, and then roll out in all of Europe, because we have the languages here, and it's kind of a mini Europe, as you will, that you find here in Switzerland. And another thing is that we have a lot of the global multinationals, they have a regional headquarter here. So you have very short distances to decision makers of those companies. There are about 850 US multinationals here. So if you have any pilot products or pilot projects, or other projects that you have those decision makers right here and can access them. Switzerland has over 37 free trade agreements, with India one of them, but also with many other countries. So if you set up in Switzerland from here as a company, you can access the world. So not only Europe, but also with other countries that you do business with. Then talent, I think, is threefold. So we have a good apprenticeship program here in Switzerland, the vocational training. So if you need talent, that like a lab technician or any other trade-related talent, you find it here, well-trained. And a lot of companies that actually produce here also say that it makes business sense to produce here, and it's saving them costs because people know what they're doing. They know how to operate the machineries and make less errors. So bottom line, it makes business sense to even produce here in Switzerland, even though it's a high-cost country. So we have the vocational training, but then also ETH and EPFL and other universities that churn out a lot of research talent. So if you need the PhDs of this world, you have access here in Switzerland. And then lastly, Switzerland is an international location that a lot of expats like to come here. So if you're recruiting for international management talent, it's an easy location to recruit that because of the high quality of life you find here. So those are the three talent pillars that we offer here in Switzerland to companies. Then regulations. I don't know if there are any blockchain or other emerging tech companies here. Switzerland always had a very tech-neutral approach on regulation. So we're not trying to over-regulate like our neighboring countries do with AI and other tech or emerging tech. So Switzerland is taking the approach that we're looking into the existing laws and regulations and give guidelines, basically. And that's how the whole blockchain industry took its beginnings here in the canton of Zug with the Crypto Valley, that the local government was looking at, hey, what are the business models? How do you see blockchain evolving? How do you experiment? And gave them guidelines. So they had the legal framework to experiment, and had the security, yet room for innovation. And that's the approach that Switzerland takes with many other emerging tech as well, AI and drones, aviation as well. Yeah, and why Switzerland is so innovative, I think that's the secret sauce right here. There's so many different research institutes that work on EMPA, for example, material science or life sciences. Before I mentioned the Lugano, ITSIA, where they're big in AI. And it's all on a very small room, so it's very densely. And so there's a lot of cross-pollination between those research institutes and the experts and scientific staff that you find here. And it's one thing if I tell you how great Switzerland is. But it's another what companies say. So here, Hallmask, they're from Singapore, and they started in Basel. And the reason they came to Basel is because they found here the multilingual and the data-driven workforce that they were looking for. And another example from India, Dishman Pharmaceuticals, they started here a couple of years ago, but have continued to invest in Switzerland. So 2020 was the announcement of the last investment, and over 100 million, and they have more than 600 employees here in Switzerland. So they must like it here that they continue to invest. Those are just two examples. And I know AI, the speaker before was saying that how much AI can replace or give now information about investing in a location. Yes, true. But if you still need a human being to answer any questions about Switzerland, so we are the organization that can help you with that. We work with all the 26 cantons in Switzerland. And so if you have questions or interested in investing in Switzerland, please get in touch with us. Yeah. So, clicking through this. There we go. So our services, what we do, we can help benchmark Switzerland against other countries. So if you're still on the short list, looking at other countries in Europe, for example, we can benchmark those locations. We help with site visits. So if you want to come and tour Switzerland, we can show you kind of that you really experience Switzerland. We organize site visits, and then we also can connect you to the right people here. So if you're looking at the cantons, the government authorities at the cantonal level, but also experts and service providers that you want to use to set up a company here in Switzerland. Yeah, that's from my side. Thank you for your attention. And my contact information if you need that. Thank you. Thank you.